light up the world. We light up the world.
Beautiful things happen when you distance yourself from negativity. Beautiful things happen when you let go of certain things that no longer serve you. Beautiful things happen when you change your toxic environments that completely take the life out of you and suck the life out of you. That is when beautiful things happen. Beautiful things happen if you just let go and just let God do his thing. Let's talk about transformation. And the reason why I want to talk about transformation today is because I've had in my spirit for the last 2 weeks, that depression is taking over, anxiety is taking over big time, and also suicidal thoughts. This was very hard for me to come on and talk about because I myself have experienced some of these thoughts. And I'm going to tell you, it wasn't suicidal thoughts. Absolutely not. I'm stronger in the Lord in that. But I have been running a marathon, hitting the ground running since January because I started this business. I started this vision that I know myself could not control. I was called to it. And anybody that knows when you're called to something, you step out on fear and you just walk through the ocean and you don't know what's under you. You just trust God. When you do that, you are putting yourself last. You are just saying, God, I'm putting on my vision glasses. I'm just following your steps and I'm following your orders. But with that comes a price. When you step out on fear, you become more anxious. You start to see that, okay, you don't have time to make mistakes because you are on God's time now. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to break it down to the point where you can really understand because sometimes I can go so deep that people may miss it. I don't want you to miss this today. I want you to understand that we are in a time where the enemy is trying to slip in and slip out without a sound. Without a sound. He is silently coming in to try to destroy our mentality. Again, the devil never changes his clothes. I'm going to tell you right now that he is the prince of the air. And he's coming in through social media. And we already know that. We've already kind of discussed that. But let's kind of go deeper in the process. The process is something that we lightly talk about. We just glorify it a little bit, but we get off of it. But we don't really want to talk about the ugly and the bad. When you step out on faith, or you can say step out on fear, because I'm going to tell you, it's a scary thing to do something that you're not familiar with. That will mess with you. That will take you under if you do not have emotional intelligence. If you're not able to withstand the things that are going on through your character development, it can take you under. But see, this is why I'm on here today, because we are going to recognize that we are better than this and that we can do better than this and that we can push through this. This is where we become more emotionally intelligent. So I want to talk about the caterpillar and the glorified butterfly that we love to praise, but we never want to talk about the process in between becoming the glorified butterfly. That process is something that we don't want to talk about because it can be very ugly. It can be very stagnant. It can be very brutal. Because what it's doing, that process is developing our character. So it can take us through the ringer if you don't watch it. If you're not able to control your emotions through the process, because I'm going to tell you, even when you start something big or you start working on your dreams or you are waiting on God for something, there is a process. There is a time that you have to wait. You have to give yourself some time because even though you think that you're ready for it, you have to be built for it. You've got to be built for the next level that God is going to take you to. And some of us may not be ready, and that's okay. Most of us aren't ready. Look at Tyler Perry. Look at his story. He went through a very struggling time. Most people, the greatest people, went through something hard. So whoever came up with that meme and said, oh, if you stress and you got to work hard for it, that ain't for you. Listen, whoever wrote that have not been through anything in their life. And that's okay, because I'm here to make us all understand that the process in between the caterpillar and the butterfly. In my spirit, I've been seeing the blue butterfly lately. And God led me to look it up. Sometimes God speaks to us in different ways, in different languages, and different signs and wonders that we really don't actually zero in. But if you get quiet and you start to just pay attention to certain things around you, God will speak to you very peacefully. If you get yourself away from the noise and all the party and just quiet your spirit down, you will be able to hear from God. He will answer questions that you may have about your process. Now, when I started to look up what it means, a blue butterfly, and then God led me to look up the metamorphosis of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. This really hit my spirit hard because I know that there are some people out here that are going through some trying times, and you're tired, you're mentally discouraged, your spirit is even weakened. And I'm here to tell you that it's okay, that this is all a part of the process. And sometimes you may not trust it. Let's be real. You may not trust the process. But when it's that period of development, it can really take you someplace. But I just want you to be able to respect it. And the people that are around you need to recognize that that's what's going on. And if they don't, it is okay. But when I look up the metamorphosis of a caterpillar, I was stunned. The caterpillar is like a worm that eats its greens for nourishment of its body. But innately, that caterpillar knows it has to turn into a butterfly. It has to go through a revolutionary change to become something bigger than itself, to become something more beautiful than itself. But the caterpillar cannot skip that process, and that's the process that we don't want to talk about. That process can be very ugly. That process can be very bad. That process can be crushing to our spirit. But I'm going to tell you, the caterpillar knows there's a day when it has to die to itself. That is the same with you. When you are in an environment that no longer serves you, or you're around people that no longer serves you, because if you're the caterpillar that's hanging out with the worms and hanging out with the slow snails and also hanging out with snakes, you don't even know it, but you're hanging out with these people, they will drain you. When you're out there and you're doing your thing, you will attract so many people, especially when you have a good heart. You will attract so many people that may not be good for you. And guess what? It will tug on you. It will tug at your spirit on the inside of you. All those opinions that you're listening to, all those naysayers that you listen to will break you down if you don't watch it. But see, this is why I'm here. The enemy thought he could come in on me, and that's okay. He could try and do whatever he needs to do because he should have did it a long time ago because I'm mentally strong. And some of us are not mentally strong. You don't know what to do in those low areas of your life. So you let that lifestyle take you under. But I'm going to tell you, the enemy does not exist. When you start treating the enemy like he's nothing and a nobody, he will not exist in your life. But see, the caterpillar must realize that it has to become something better and bigger. So what happens with the caterpillar? The caterpillar begins to eat. It feels fat. It's gotten fat and it's grown hair on its back. Now innately, it knows that it has to go through a revolutionary change. So it begins to start to create a satin shroud around its physical body. But what happens in that physical body? What happens when it turns itself into a pupa and it goes into a cocoon? What happens during that metamorphosis? Oh my God, I'm getting chills thinking about it. The caterpillar puts itself in a cocoon, and that's where some of us need to stop. We are running ourselves so ragged. We are moving so fast. We are going to work, don't even have time to eat. Sometimes we don't even have time to sleep. And we are running down. Our spirit becomes tired, and there's no medicine for anything when your spirit becomes tired. You can take a pill for depression, you can take all this and that and the other, but the only medicine for spiritually being weakened or being depressed or being full of anxiety is to stop and take some time in your cocoon. You must become unavailable to things that are sucking the life out of you. And you know what? The cocoon process is the hardest process because it may not be so easy for all of us. You have to take some alone time. You got to get yourself away from all the noise. People often equate being alone is depression, but when you know how to turn that knob to positivity and you say, God, please come in. Please take over the wheel, God. Jesus, take the wheel, because I have been reckless, God. I have ran all the red lights. I have missed all the signals and the red flags. God, I need you to take over. That is when you need to submit and surrender to yourself, because some of us, it may not be other people. Let's just be real. It may be ourselves. We're fighting against our own self. And I'm going to tell you, some of us are doing it all. Fighting your own flesh because you're looking at the caterpillar and you're hanging out with the worms and you're hanging out with the snails and you're hanging out with the snakes. And you know what? Some of those people you really, really, really love. And some of those people are beautiful people. And some of those people mean you no good. But guess what? That's not of you. That's none of your business. Your business is to make sure that you wake up happy every day. Your business is to make sure that you are waking up in peace every day. Your business is to make sure that you are serving your purpose every day. And if certain people do not like it, if certain people do not respect you, and guess what? It's not people all the time. Let's stop being a victim. Let's look at ourselves, because I'm going to tell you, the last couple of months, I'm going to be honest with you, I have not been spiritually confused. I know who my God is. I know the God that I serve because I've seen the miracles that he's performed in my own family. I've seen the miracles that he performed in my life. So I have no doubt that God is who he is. I'm going to tell you one thing about life. I started questioning myself as a caterpillar because I was in that in-between time. I was in the metamorphosis. You know, in the beginning, everything is so beautiful, so fresh, so new, so virgin, so untouched. But as you start walking out into the real world, okay, it can get real tricky. It can become real shady. People become shady. People start to look like, oh my God, you know, they start to tug on you, wear on you, break you down, excuse me. This is what I want you to comprehend. In that season of being in your cocoon, you need to be praying over your anxiety. You need to be praying over your depression. You need to be praying over your whatever suicidal thoughts are the lies from the enemy. Yes, they are. You deserve to live the best life that God has to offer you. And also, you have to offer yourself. Remember, when I first started Fire to Inspire, I identified that the kingdom lives on the inside of you. That he lives on the inside of you, but he must have your permission to come in and take over. He must have permission to come in while you're alone in your cocoon. He's knocking at your door. He wants to come in, but you have to submit yourself. And so the caterpillar submits itself into the cocoon, and it knows it's going to take a while for it to develop. But while in the cocoon, what happens to the caterpillar when it's going through its metamorphosis stage? It becomes liquid. Oh my God. I have chills as I talk about this. The caterpillar's body, physical body, turns into liquid. It is no longer who it used to be. Oh my God. So powerful. If you just start looking at things around you, so beautiful, God will start blessing you with more beautiful things in your life. So start taking life a little slower and recognizing its beauty. And then when you start complimenting the world will start to give gifts to you that you've never seen coming. When you're in that cocoon, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a tough time. You feel alienated. You feel alone. You feel broken. That's because you have been broken. God is breaking you down. Once you've submitted yourself and you surrendered, he starts to break you down. T.D. Jakes came up with this story, the crushing. He starts to crush you. And that liquid that he turns you into is nothing but oil. Oh my God. Oh God. It's nothing but oil, y'all. He makes you so oily. That is the most beautiful thing. When he makes you and he breaks you and he molds you and he transforms you and he restores you and he regenerates you, you are the most beautiful thing when you let go and you let God. God can begin to liquefy you, wash all of those toxic, negative energies out of your body, out of your mind, out of your ears, out of your eyes, out of your mouth. Yes, I said mouth because our mouth is a weapon that must be cleaned. Because God, the thing about him is he wants the best for you. But what does that mean? That means he has to crush you. That means he has to break you down. That means he has to restore you. And he has to create restoration on your life. He must preserve you. He must reserve you in that moment, in that process that we have to respect. That is when he can use you the most in his life. I don't care how you get it. I don't care how you seek it. Get peace in your life. Don't let the enemy win because he thinks that he can. He does not have reign over your decisions. It is your decision to be happy. It is your decision to have a peaceful life. It is your decision in everything that you do. It is your decision, but God wants you to have the very best life. So when he liquefies you, he begins to also solidify you, make you solid all over again. But this time, you are no longer the caterpillar. You have to let it go. Whatever that is, God has transformed you. When you let go and you let God and you say, God, you know what? I'm ready. I will be who you called me to be. You've got to be ready for that. It may not be something that you thought. It may be something even better. It may be something scarier. But guess what? Who cares? Who cares? Let it go. Learn to let it go. Make the time to enjoy the simple things in life. Know that your dreams are happening now. Understand that opportunity comes easily to you. Know that you excel in everything you do. Know that your mind is filled with love and gratitude. Know that you only attract the best situations. Know that success is always knocking at your door. Also know that you have the courage you need to succeed. Know that you're tired, you're exhausted, you've hit rock bottom, you've hit the wall. But guess what? Know that you can climb this mountain. I want you to know that you have an amazing determination to keep going, and you're rich in relationships and you're wealthy and you're lovable. I want you to know that you can accept your dreams as a reality. Whatever you think, whatever you want in life, it can be a reality. You got to make it a reality now. You've got to be confident in your abilities. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. Stop breaking yourself down to think you're not good enough. You're not brave enough. You're not confident enough. You are fearlessly made in God's eyes. Start waking up every day saying, today is my best day. Start saying the world needs the talents and the blessings that I can offer. Start saying I attract people and resources that I need that belong in my life. And always, always end with gratitude. Say that I am grateful for the success and the experiences that I have, because you know what? Somebody has it worse off than you. So be grateful that you are waking up every day. When God solidifies the caterpillar, he becomes a butterfly on the inside of the cocoon. But there's a waiting period before he can actually start shedding its skin from the cocoon. There's something magical that must happen before it becomes a butterfly. There's something beautiful that God has to do. He must breathe a new, fresh air into your body. New energy, new ideas, new understanding, new grace, new mercy, a new heart, a clean heart. Because the only way that God can reward you to become the butterfly, my guys, is that you have to submit yourself. You have to surrender. You must break yourself down. You must die to your old self, whatever that looks like. Because again, even when you become a butterfly, you can still be who you are, but you will never be the same. There will be something powerful about you. You know, most caterpillars don't make it. They get stepped on. They get ran over. They get crushed. They get eaten. I don't want you to be eaten. I don't want you to be stepped on anymore. I want you to live. I want you to live your best life. I want you to become the most beautiful butterfly in the world. I want you to fly. I want you to flow. I want you to be free. It's the most beautiful thing in life to be free. Free to do what it is that you want. Free of people that mean you no good. Free of those negative energies or spirits that are sucking the life out of you. And sometimes it's not just cutting people off. It's just understanding that they may not go where you're going. Or it's just temporary, so things can just settle. Allow yourself time to be in your cocoon. I don't care whether you're praying, meditating, but I'm going to tell you, meditation is something that we're going to dig deeper in the next couple of weeks because it has changed my life. Because I'm a high-strung person. I have very large creativity going in my head, and sometimes we don't know how to shut it down, so we need to meditate, allow the Holy Spirit to come in and touch our hearts and to listen. We are so busy begging God, and we're so busy making requests that we just don't simply shut up enough to hear him. That's what meditation is. Finding that quiet place, that quiet time to rebuild character. To understand that forgiveness is something that has to happen in your next level. To understand that loving God and loving his people is in a different realm, a spiritual realm that you've got to comprehend when you're on the inside of the cocoon. When you stop looking at people with your own eyes, I posted this the other day, and you start looking at people with God's eyes, there will be no judgment, only different ways to love them. You will start finding different ways to love people when you're looking at them with God's eyes. Start understanding and giving your neighbor mercy when they're not having a good day. You don't know what they're going through. Start being kind and loving to each other. Start with each other. I don't care who you're talking to. I don't care if you're feeling bad yourself. Learn to be disciplined, because God can only transform you when you're ready. When he turns you into that beautiful butterfly and you've now come out of the cocoon, you are now ready for your purpose in life. You are now ready. You are looking beautiful. You have your own identity. You are now flying and fluttering, and you're now able to germinate and pollinate other flowers that are allowing and to make them bloom, because you are part of the process of that life cycle. When you free yourself, my dear, it's the most beautiful thing. Please share if you like this, if this touched you, if you connected with this or resonated with this. Please share and like, and also leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And I pray for those who are not strong enough in their spirits. And I know that after you listen to this, that you will become a butterfly, that you will allow God to take some time on you. You will take some time out for yourself. Because when you're running on fumes, you become furious. When you're low on gas, you become lifeless. There's nothing that nobody can do with you when you're in that stage. So take yourself away. Step away from the situation or environment or whatever. Sometimes step away from yourself and build a cocoon around you so you can become new. It's just like a phone. You've got to charge it up. You've got to connect it. You've got to charge it, or the phone will die. Reboot yourself. Reboot your energy. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with other people. Sometimes you have to go through the worst to get the absolute best. Be blessed.
When they strike, we